Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Stranded with $1 Million, Season 1, Episode 5. What's the most you've ever spent on delivery pizza? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh. But really, though, what's the most you guys have spent on delivery pizza? Because last week I ordered Domino's and I realized I had a coupon for it.
Girl, Domino's. I get
the thin crust. The thin crust.
Splurge,
The best with the white sauce.
Right. Ew.
I can't with those suspect ingredients.
I know. I don't think I would order.
I get some super bougie LA pizza from this place called Lucifer's. It's like $17.
Oh, I've heard it's really
It's like
good.
gluten-free dairy.
You know
It's
something?
17. It's not 5,000.
$17,000.
which isn't bad.
$17,000, $5,000.
I think I could.
Not quite.
I think I could live with that.
You know, it makes me sick because think of all you could buy with $15,000.
You know, we'll get there. I've got a list going. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We are going to talk about episode 5 of Stranded with $1 Million. I'm Abigail Fraher, and you can follow me on all social media at Abigail Fraher.
And I'm Olivia Gabaree. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, The Real OG.
Jesse DAngelo here, guys. You can find me on all social media at Jesse J. DAngelo.
And you know, I think this is a great song because I don't think anyone was sorry about any of their actions, and I think that's the problem that we're
Major
facing.
problem.
No one's sorry. Nobody can just step up and be that person to say, we fucked up, we made a mistake, let's all just like
Well, egos
stop
are
and
in
let's
the
start
way.
from, scratch. Let's erase the past. Everything now is just to get back at other people. So
They got me stressing.
yes.
It's like, yeah, they're trying to get back at other people, but they're still hurting themselves in the end.
Right.
Which makes no sense to me.
We're at day 16 when this episode started, and I think the theme of this episode is Alonzo bitching.
That's what it should have been called.
That's what it should have been called, not pizza burgers and
Alonzo's
cards. Oh
tears.
my! It should have been Alonzo baby back bitch. Where's the ambulance?
See that one coming?
I didn't either. I just threw it out of my mouth.
That was great.
That's when you know.
Anyway, it's real. The feelings are real. I just honestly, I have no respect. I have no respect for him. I have no respect for them. I can't respect someone who, I mean, I guess we'll get to the end, but just the whole time he was whining about other people whining, but nobody else was whining but him.
But the thing
The
is,
whole time.
every time they complained, it was complaints that didn't make any sense.
And it was complaints that they started. They
Right.
fueled those.
They were trying to make points that just weren't points at all, but they wanted to be right, so it's just like fake it until you make it.
And on, defending that side, not that there's much to defend there, I don't think anyone could really tell me anything that there's to defend, but any action, like McCan starting off the whole episode, basically telling them what she was not going to do, they asked for that. They asked for that when they gave her 0 rights, when they gave her 0 food, when they gave her 0 privilege to really survive with anything that they had. So
They started by not putting her on the tent schedule.
Exactly. And so would I be pissed if she came up to me and started saying shit like that? Yes. But I would have never acted the way they did in the first place to have that happen. So I think they're missing the whole point of maturity, where it's like, oh, every action has an opposite reaction and every action has a consequence. Like, what are the consequences of my actions? They don't think like that. They think like toddlers. They just act without any idea of consequence.
And the reason we wouldn't have done that is because I would like to think that we're just smart enough to believe that, okay, if we say she can't use the tent, we have that right to say that because we have the numbers right now. But you don't know who's going to flare up at any moment. And let's say you find yourself with the lower numbers,
Right.
then she could do the same to you. And so I would think ahead.
and be like, well, I don't want to be in that situation, so I'm not going to do that to somebody else.
And I think she had the right idea with the revenge and payback, because
100%.
by not carrying anything besides her tent, she was punishing them because it was a burden on them. They had to carry more.
Well, and it's
Whereas,
but did they really have to carry more? Like, look at what everyone was
no,
carrying.
but if you think
Right.
from her
To them.
it's her tactic, whereas their tactic is, let's spend more money to punish them, but that tactic is ridiculous.
That tactic
because
hurts them as well.
That's their money that
Right.
they're spending as well.
Right.
Whereas she's just, I mean, yeah, it's a petty thing, but
I
that's
think-
how I would have handled it too.
I think that's her go-to now, is just be as petty as hell and piss everyone off, so
And
maybe someone will quit.
aggravates them.
Yeah.
Because she's like, it's only me and Cody. So
Right.
if this is the most I can do to at least show
Just
them, I'm not just going to
keep-
sit here and let you
keep doing
outnumber
it.
me,
Right.
then I'm going to
And
outnumber
how
you.
funny is it that Cody's the rational one in all this?
I never saw.
Did we ever think?
Honestly, to that extent, that the show ended on, no, I didn't think it would ever get to that point.
Even in the beginning, how he has to baby them and
and explain why. Like it's like, you know, it's like I felt like like I was, and they're the ones saying, well, we don't have to babysit. It's like actually Cody's babysitting you all because he's explaining like, no, your sister got mad at you because you did this. So like if you want her to act this way, you need to act this way. Like that should not be explained to grown adults.
Exactly.
Alex Vinegar in our live chat says, yeah, Cody had some words of wisdom that he actually said tonight, and he totally earned my respect on tonight's episode.
I agree.
At the end of this episode, I mean, you all know that I've respected his decisions as far as gameplay, but at the end of this episode, I was like, you know, he's a cocky son of a bitch, but he can really back it up. Like, everything that he is saying is
Well, listen,
it's factual.
What he had to say in this episode was a polar opposite of what he had been saying in every single episode previously. Now he's speaking rationally, and I see his tactic, and I see
what do you mean
where
polar
he's
opposite?
going. Before, he was just saying shit to say shit. He was talking like things that were unnecessary just to make people mad, but now he's speaking to some type of truth.
Right, like because he's saying things in response to what the team is doing, and it's ringing
true.
true.
He's actually responding, but I don't think he ever spoke out of line as far as like saying anything hypocritical, really.
No, I'm not. I'm saying his attitude is total opposite.
Oh yeah. Like he's not really being
But at the same time,
but is his attitude opposite? I don't know if his attitude's opposite or if they're all just acting so freaking crazy that it's making our perspective of his attitude change.
Well, I just don't think he has to act crazy to aggravate anybody anymore because obviously they're already.
But what I'm saying, I think he's acting the same. I think he's been the only constant in this whole thing. I don't think his attitude has changed at all. McConaughey's now being an asshole as her defense mechanism, which I think is awesome.
He's toning it down because she is taking
but
care of it.
I don't know if he is. Like, my viewpoint is he's been like this the whole way. And now, because there's so much of this going on, there's so many people acting higher and more crazy and like more like out there with that I think it's making him look level when really I think he's been the same the whole way.
I
don't know.
Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm saying?
I think maybe what he's been saying the whole time has been the same, but I think the motives for why he's saying it are different now. Like in the beginning, he was just saying it because, you know, they're coming on the island and he's, you know, going to let himself be known that, oh, I'm Cody. And now it's in response to what this team is doing.
Okay.
But I have a question. What if, like, I feel like he thought he was going to be on a team that had more people following him. I don't think he ever saw himself being with just one other person versus everybody else. So I think
you thought he was going to be the alpha and just like run everything.
And I think he thought that too. So I feel like he's finding himself in a situation.
But did you think when they made that offer to him, did you think he was even considering it? Because I don't for a second think he was actually considering it. I think he was playing them.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to take it, but I think he was gonna, if he found a way to act like he was going to take it and manipulate them to his advantage, I think he was able to do that, but they didn't set him up in a manner that would allow him to do that.
Because they're a mess.
Because they were acting a mess.
I was like, wait, like what kind of strategy are you even pulling right now? Like they were silly. Also, when Eilish, I always keep calling her Eilish, but they call her Eilish, and so I'm just gonna go with that. When she called McConaughey lazy, I was dying.
Yeah, I don't think she has a right to speak at all because she hasn't impressed me at all this entire season.
That whole group's quintessential, like looking in the mirror. You know when someone's insecure and they call out like what they are to other people or whatever? Yes, they're projecting like crazy on McCan and Cody because they have not done anything. She was carrying one little thing. Gina was carrying a pot. Alex with his hands. Like, I think we could have probably figured out a way.
If McConaughey was able to carry the tent on her back and you have the same exact tent, you probably could have carried it on your back.
You could have figured it out. Or there was that extra rope, you know, where you do the pull tie. Yeah. You could have wrapped that around the water because the water has the little cup because it's a peanut butter
you're right.
thing. Like, and then you could have pulled it tight and it would have been fine. Like, there's...
Instead, he threw it.
Instead, he threw it like a child. They're not... They can't think on their feet, and I think that's why they're doing so poor in the competition.
And what is it that when they were arguing with McConaughey when she was standing her ground, she said, kick her like a stray dog. I'm not saying that I haven't made some off-color remarks before, and I would hate to have them televised, but that's a trashy-ass comment right there. Kick her like a stray dog.
It's a trashy.
Not
it just
cute.
didn't even
Honestly,
make,
the comments coming out on this episode had me so happy. because it was the most colorful episode I think we've seen thus far, with them actually getting petty and calling each other names. Not that like I'm pro calling people names, but it was entertaining as heck.
But it's just childish. It was not. There was nothing behind it.
I'm trying
they
to
were just talking to talk.
And here's the difference, because I was out last week, but I caught up and I watched your show. And in regards to when McConaughey made that comment about her family. See, I don't think McConaughey there was any ill will behind it. She was just stating, because that's what she spoke about doing. She'd buy a house for her family. Or she was like, well, if you want that house for your family, stop spending money. Right. That wasn't bringing up her family in a malicious way.
But that's what these people do. They
but you
can't
saying,
handle
I'm going to kick you like
truth.
a stray dog, that's, you know.
And then Alonzo, I mean, I'm not sure what business Alonzo thinks he can run. I'm a little confused.
He's all over the map.
I'm not sure really where that is that he thinks
Buffalo.
In Buffalo, like what business in Buffalo he thinks he's capable of running. But based on what I saw, is he cries when things are difficult. He can't manage money. Like
well, none of them can. And
I just, you know what? Go ahead.
I just think that their perspective is entirely irrational. Especially it's like I would always think, like, shoot for the stars and your goal, like, make your goal the highest, and then if you fall short of that, at least you were on the road to getting there. Whereas they're just reaching for the minimum. Like, and there's even Ailish, whatever, she was saying, you know, it would take me 9 years to make however much money they were going to make. And it's like,
it's
okay.
Like, listen to what you just said. You just said those words yourself.
Why
Take stock
wouldn't you
of that.
want more than that? Why? I don't she'd be satisfied with a couple thousand?
Well, my thing is, they're the quintessential example of mediocrity.
I personally don't.
And again, I said it, and people are gonna hate me, and I really don't care, because I really, truly, in my heart, believe that this
but that's what they're
is
showing
why
us.
People don't excel in life.
But
and
why
in
have
anything,
average
I'm not
dreams?
saying
Average goals.
But no,
why?
average, even like to have, that's fine. A lot of people, you know, I'm not. Who's to judge what someone's goal is or what someone's ambition is?
But when you have $1 million up here,
when you
and you're
have
like,
in
okay,
front
I'll take
of
a
you,
couple thousand,
right?
instead.
When you have in front of you this amazing opportunity that literally has just been planted for you, and all you have to really do is fucking survive. And you're just going to mock it, basically, and it's disrespectful to your family. It's disrespectful to the people you want to help. You're literally spitting on them with the actions that you're doing. Your actions are not backing up anything that you said you wanted to do. And it's like, I don't doubt in my mind for a second that you're going to live in a trailer, because you don't. And there's nothing wrong with living in a trailer, but there's a problem when you have an out and you have
exactly.
You're given this door to open into another life, and you're standing in front of the door going, well, actually, I'd rather just eat a pizza in front of this door than be a little hungry and walk through the door.
Exactly.
And, you know, if they really wanted to, I get it, like maybe helping them fuel their journey. Get peanut butter. Do you know what I mean? That peanut butter alone, it would be annoying eating the same thing every day, but invest in peanut butter.
There's protein, there's calories, it stays. The fuck do you think I'm so sorry, I'm so heated right now. What do you think you're gonna do with day-old pizza? What do you think you're gonna do with day-old sandwiches?
And the fact
with the bugs and everything out there?
Yeah.
You wonder why your stomach in the next episode's fucked up? Because you ate old meat, probably.
And the fact that Alonzo and Alex already had sandwiches and food at the challenge, it wasn't necessary to go overboard and buy burgers and pizza and peanut butter, because they were just trying to make two people a little more comfortable, because the two of them were already comfortable.
And you know what? You know, when they ordered all that stuff, because they ordered more, I think, than they've ordered more than they ever ordered.
That was ridiculous.
But no. But Cody and McConaughey, I think that they're prepping, because I think they know they're going to get cut off. Because they ordered peanut butter, a bag of rice, and carrots. And every other time they've only just ordered like one thing of peanut butter.
Oh, those
Do you know what I'm saying?
were for them.
Those three things were for them.
Are you sure?
100%. She said when she ordered it, she said carrots, rice, and a jar of peanut butter. Then she said, and our next order is 2 jars of peanut butter, 2 pizzas, 2 burgers.
But see, even in their order, they're ordering practically.
But and rice is going to last forever.
And they have to take advantage of the one time that the 4 of them are going to allow them to order
they're
whatever
planning
they
ahead.
want. Honestly, all of that order, you could have bought a car.
And at some
Yeah, I
point,
could
just putting
cry
that in
thinking
perspective.
about
at some
this.
point they have to realize like what is it worth to you if you're sitting there and you're facing and this is a matter of the mind as well. If you're sitting there and you're facing all of these things, don't you think you could sit and think, you know, my life's going to be really shitty for the next 20 days, but after those 20 days, I'm going to be open to unlimited opportunity. I'm going to be somewhat of a public figure that people know. At least, you know, I have something on my resume to get me some credibility for whatever you might want to do. You know, whatever that is, whether it's in entertainment or not. You know, a lot of football players and stuff, they open a car dealership just because someone knows who they are. They're going to go there.
Right.
There's that credibility.
Doors that can
There's
possibly
money.
open.
And if you're just going to order a pizza, I'm just so flabbergasted by it. It just honestly is like...
What McCan said at the end summed up the premise of the show perfectly when it was just her and Cody.
Yeah.
She said, the whole point is we're meant to be uncomfortable for this short period of time in exchange. It's basically free money.
Right.
You're going to be uncomfortable for 40 days in exchange for a lot longer of being happy and having all this money.
And what sounds more uncomfortable to you? Being hungry and angry and bugs biting you, or
having some cheap ass pizza,
or the
and being
stress,
broke.
right? And the stress, or the stress of not being able to pay your rent, or the stress of not being able to get a car.
It's like they're torturing themselves because they're spending all this money to be comfortable, but they're going to be uncomfortable no matter what. You're in the middle of a freaking jungle with like dirty and still hungry. So either you might as well just go full on and just be completely uncomfortable so you can be totally comfortable later, not be like a little bit uncomfortable and then stay uncomfortable for the rest of your life.
They're the prime example of our society now. This quick fix, this quick action, this quick, I'm hungry, I want this, or I'm...
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification to the max, and
even when they eat this stuff, they crap it out immediately because their stomachs aren't used to it.
And like what you said too, their stomachs are
woods.
so small. Have you ever not eaten for one day, and then you go to dinner and you order a huge meal and you can't...
But that's what I mean, especially with these challenges, I don't understand it because you have a plethora of food in front of you, but how much is your stomach going to actually hold when you haven't eaten properly for 20 days?
Right.
You could have maybe one sandwich,
maybe
a piece of fruit, like you would get a stomach ache immediately.
And those fries could not have been that good, because I know fries. If you get fries 5 minutes late out of the fryer, they're not good.
They
and
probably
obviously
couldn't have even
production
had
set
a
that
lot
up
of
like in
the
advance,
fries.
Right.
So,
my question though, because then I thought at some point when they went to the temptation and Alex took Alonzo, Alex made a really good point. He said, $15,000 at home, what could that get us? And I was like, yes, the light bulb's on. They're going to be smart about it. And then they're like, let's watch a video of the people we already know for 30 seconds.
And I think that would, I get that it motivated them, but I feel like that would make me feel worse.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool, Mom. I just paid $15,000 to watch you on TV.
Right. When you could have took her to Europe for like 3 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. You could have went on a cruise for $2,000.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
When you put it in perspective like that, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's asinine. It's so dumb. And they're sitting there wailing like children. And I understand emotions are high. Your emotions are crazy. You haven't eaten properly. So you're a little more emotional than maybe you normally would have been. But, like, you've been gone for 3 weeks.
Listen.
Calm down.
That meal could be rent for an entire year. For an entire year.
That's what I'm saying.
In Los Angeles. Imagine rent in Texas.
Right.
The amount they spent on that last group buy would be my rent for the next 4 effing years. Trump would be out of office by the time that money
That's what I'm saying.
ran dry paying my rent.
They don't think like that. And
I wonder how they're feeling now watching themselves eat that meal when they're sitting at home $15,000 less in their pocket.
And like your girlfriend still doesn't, like you could have bought an amazing engagement ring. You could have bought your mom, you could have paid off her car. You could have helped pay off her house. Like you could have done so much more than watch. Like that's selfish because you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it so that you can see them for a brief moment. And it's like, really? I mean, and Alonzo's, he was in the military. Like, he really, I don't know if he served time or not, overseas, but he really, if he did, and he was talking about his dad, his dad really saw pain. His dad really saw struggle being away from his family, actually doing something.
But this is a reality show.
But he even said, when I go home, I'm going to apologize to him.
Sweet.
So it's like, yeah, exactly.
But it's like, take
keep
that
sentiment
you.
in the forefront
right.
when you're feeling weak or like you want to go home. And again, we're sitting here, and I know we're judging it, like obviously we were in that situation.
You
but
know
my
what? That's
whole
our
thing
job,
is
though.
I would at least compromise. I'm not saying I would for sure buy some of that stuff. Like I know Cody and McCan want to buy nothing. I would definitely buy some stuff. But
I'm
like
sure
I
I would
said,
have a weak
I would
moment.
say buy me a jar of peanut butter and I'm good. Like I'll last off that. I'm not going to be ordering DiGiorno and all that crap.
It's just
playing cards. Because playing cards.
To me, I know what I want in life, and it's not a pizza.
Yeah, no.
It's not a pizza.
It's just ridiculous.
It doesn't add up. And the videos, it was cute, whatever, them crying. I think I'm heartless because I thought it was pathetic, but
moments like that get me.
and it is sweet. Like I get the point of it, and I understand how a lot of people would have thought it was sweet, but I'm kind of more disgusted because the person you're watching on TV, like you just spent $15,000 to watch them on TV when you could have actually done something to change their life a little more so, because you're not really doing that much. Again, when we think about taxes being taken out,
I know
they're at the halfway point, and they only have $275.
They have like $30,000 between each of them now, and then after taxes, you're walking away with maybe $16,000.
Congratulations, you can't even get a Prius.
Like but you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know. I'm like kicking a dead horse here.
It's crazy.
Or a stray dog.
Right?
Sorry, that was petty.
Then we see Alonzo kind of losing his mind. And it's just funny because he's losing his mind when he has all of these splendors.
And this is what gets me is like, I just find it funny, and this is why even though they're outnumbered, Cody and McCan are still winning, because these two are cool as friggin' cucumbers, and they are outnumbered. These four have each other. They're buying whatever the hell they want, and they're the ones cracking.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have the support of each other.
And but do you know the funny thing is, I've never heard McCan or Cody ever say once that they wanted to go home.
Because once you say it, it's in the environment.
Yeah, exactly. That and the fact that this foursome thinks that they're so strong, but the second that Alonzo says he wants to go home and Alex is joining, the rest of them are kind of like, yeah, I kind of want to go home too. So I think that right there is foreshadowing the outcome of this competition.
Yeah. And then when they did the ordering, they're taking Wasteful and Gluttony to another level. I mean, they're now to the point where they're spewing this hate, saying, well, we're just going to buy whatever we want. We're going to buy whatever we want. Get off to getting Wasteful, dude. Get off to it. Like, that is literally their splendor now. They're so excited to spend this money that is not even relevant just to piss two people off. And it's like, that money is being pulled from everybody. It's like, stop. Just take a second and stop. Take a deep breath. Go jump in some water. Like, seriously, do something because they're losing it. I don't see the
rationality behind any of it. What is the point? And get a rise out of the other two? And then we see...
Because you're not getting it.
Like, you're in a jungle on a survival show telling me that you're going to pick off certain meats off your pizza you're ordering.
I'm sorry, when Gina was like, see if we can get a half
and half. I was like, no, I'm just going to pick it off. And then they got playing cards?
You're going to play war?
For $1,000.
Think of the things you could have bought with $1,000.
I think that's the most pathetic buy of it all.
$1,000
you
for
can
playing
try
cards?
rationalize, but be like, oh, because like I need to eat.
You could be setting money aside for your children's education. You could be your own education. Like, they all need to take an economics class.
I just don't. I don't see the reasoning. I can't get over it. I do not.
I feel
see
like
the
maybe
reasoning.
in the moment because it's. Actually, no. Cancel what I was just about to say. I was going to say because it's not really your money yet. Like, you don't really see it. You're just spending it. But no, that's why I said forget it. Because they actually physically are touching it.
Could you ever picture a moment in your life where you could try to convince yourself that $1,000 on playing cards was okay?
I can't.
Absolutely
I can't
not.
convince myself that $100 on something like that is worth it. I mean, I'm literally and like. It's nice to look in that bank account and see some money.
Yeah.
And, like, it just makes you feel a different way. Like, you can plan trips. Like, I was telling someone the other I do not spend asinine amounts of money on anything. Just even if you can, like, why? Yeah, sometimes it feels nice to splurge, and then I'll do it, and I'll be like, oh my god, I need to take that back. What was I thinking? Like, because it's just not. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There's a bigger picture that you're working towards, and it doesn't add up. And then at the end, Cody got some kahunas on him because he went. I did not expect him to go that far. Because McConaughey made the trailer comment, and then
Cody said that.
Well, McConaughey had said it earlier. Like, didn't McConaughey say it earlier in the show? Like, that's why she's living in a trailer?
No, I think that was just Cody.
Oh. I thought McConaughey said it.
What do you think was so bad about what he said,
I didn't think it was bad. I'm just saying he went
It was
in.
truthful,
He was
and I
like,
think
that's
I
why you
would've
live in
said
a
that
trailer.
too.
That's why you all are poor. Because you don't know how to manage money. Like, you don't know how to make more money to get out of your situation. Like, you're literally being handed a way to get out of your situation. And here's what's crazy. They're the ones that said they were in the situations. Nobody forced them to say they needed the money. They're all literally saying, I need this money.
Exactly.
I need this money.
They put themselves in this uncomfortable position to get themselves out of their reality of the uncomfortable position.
Right. And then they all are losing
reason?
it. And I was like, that is so true, though. I'm telling you, they're setting themselves up for mediocrity.
I don't know. If I was Cody, I probably would have said the same thing, especially out of frustration because you're watching your money just being thrown away.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to help myself. You have, wake up.
Right.
If you want to get out of the trailer, you're not going to do so by spending
and then Eilish says,
$5,000 on a pizza.
Said, she didn't grow up privileged like McConaughey. It's like, I don't think McConaughey grew up privileged.
In what way? Yeah.
Because McConaughey's being way more smart about it. So
what does that even mean?
Then she would probably spend $5,000 on a pizza because she would have no concept of money.
Exactly. Right. You don't grow up privileged and be as resourceful and frugal as McConaughey's been this whole time. You just don't do it.
Or
it makes no sense.
Or you did and she learned well.
No, but
she learned the value of a dollar by growing up privileged, and she understands that if you save money, you make money. It's not like I don't want to shit on people who are privileged because they don't know how to spend. It's what I'm saying. It's like
no, yeah.
But her whole point was just stupid.
But every point that the four of them made from the beginning to the end was stupid. It had no truth behind any of it. I told you, they were just talking to talk.
Right.
How McConaughey didn't display any characteristics of a person that was ignorant to the concept of money.
Right.
She left at a young age home, and she told us, and I'm sure that they obviously swapped stories. They had enough time on the show about how she would work, a full at least 12-hour day on a farm to earn her keep and stay there.
All I'm seeing is Eilish talk about how much she needs money for her kids, and Alonzo say how much he needs money because he's been homeless before, but yet
they're the ones pissing through it faster than anybody.
Blowing through this money, you can't. There's no tomorrow, and there is no tomorrow if you keep blowing through the money like this.
It's just the most bizarre situation.
It's so frustrating. My mind's blown. I'm numb after this episode. I can't handle it.
I know. And again, I don't know them from, a can of paint. So this is nothing really against them personally. This is just how they're reacting in this situation.
This is 100% their character in the show and how they have a lack of financial planning sense or just general sense.
And Cody said too, this is how you are in real life because this is how you are on the show. And I'm sorry. I know Cody's Cody, but he was calling a spade a spade.
I wish I could play devil's advocate here, but there's just no other side to it.
You can't. You don't just become a complete new person all of a sudden because you're on an island. Some parts of you might come out that you don't like so much, but your foundation is still there.
Yeah. And he said the difference is you need this and I don't need it because Cody and McConaughey could be gone tomorrow and they would still be fine. These people would leave tomorrow and be crying about how they didn't have this money, and that's why he was like, the difference is you actually need this. I don't need it. If I don't get this money, I'll still be fine. Right. But yet you're pissing away the chance to have more money because
and then her response is, well, you probably live with your mom. That has nothing to do with the fact that he's spending no money.
I know.
If anything, he's living with his mom, and I don't even think he is living with his mom, but if anything, he's living with his mom, and so then he still goes and lives with his mom if he blows through money. What does that mean? That's counterproductive.
The trailer.
Everything you said, everything that was lost.
I'm just saying.
Anything that he if she's saying that he has a setup situation, his situation's still going to be set up whether he spends money or not. So he's still choosing not to spend money. Your situation isn't set up, and you're spending money like that. Like, it just, their logic is not strong.
I know.
Thank God there aren't real games in the show, because I don't think they'd be able to handle it.
To clarify earlier, you were right. Two Fly Jenkins in our chat room said McConaughey did make a comment in a previous episode. She said, "How are you and your son going to move out of that trailer, spending all that money?"
Okay.
I definitely missed that, even in the other episode.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Thanks for keeping us in check.
I'm frustrated. Let's see, what are people saying in the chat?
Everyone's basically on the same side right now. They're like, I hate the campers. Like,
I hate the campers so much.
The group buy was crazy.
I don't hate them. I hate their choices.
Right.
Their choices are
being
piss poor.
stranded in a jungle obviously doesn't bring out the best in you, but you have to have some type of end goal. And if you're not working toward that,
Well, and I think that shows they really don't have the set end goal. It's not like I think it's kind of like when you make plans in like life or in general for a vacation. Like, you can't just say, I'm gonna go on vacation and then things work out. You have to say, I'm gonna go,
and this is how I'm gonna do
here,
it. This is where I'm gonna go.
Here's where I'm gonna stay. Here's how I'm gonna travel there. Here's what I'm gonna pack. All of these things to make that happen. And so I think in their mind, they're just, I wanna get rich. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're just
and
like, I hope I make
strategy.
it to the end.
Right.
Whereas Cody and McConaughey said, I will be there at the end. Like, they didn't actually say that, but in their heads, they're like, I will be at that finish line.
Right.
And the rest of them are just sort of like, I hope I'm there at the end.
Honestly, I don't see McConaughey or Cody leaving.
No.
Hell
I see the only way that they would go home is if they had to be drug out by a helicopter because they were emaciated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
And a couple other, yeah.
It's just a matter of which
it's
one
hard.
It's hard.
It's a struggle
first
because I feel like we're all so one-sided, but there's really not another way to be. I don't think there's any real grounds to stand up for the other group right now.
No, and
and maybe that'll change, but I don't.
In earlier episodes, Olivia and I even said, like, we'd be in that damn tent.
No, I know.
But now seeing this, like, I could not get behind
I can't
their
agree
actions
with
now.
it. And it's going to screw them over in the end because I don't think all four of them are going to make it, but if at least one of them is up against McConaughey and Cody,
they're screwed.
Who's going to help them out? No one. No one's going to help
My
that
thing
lone
is, too,
survivor.
What with production, like...
That's what I wanted to get into.
I wanted it to get more difficult. Like, we can't keep having these group buys because this is stupid. Now they're being able to buy when they, like, as soon as they get hungry, like, they're buying. Like, we need to get
more challenging.
We need to get some challenging because I'm getting bored a little with just watching them walk to the next camp and group buy. Like, I need to see some action.
It's too consistent. It's like very calculated.
Right.
I feel like there's some leeway. They're kind of making it up as they go because we had a random challenge thrown in last episode.
Which is so silly because they didn't even have one this episode. Like, how are you just going to throw one random challenge of buckets and water? Like,
I know. But the only thing that's giving me hope for is that hopefully they'll throw a wrench into their plan. Like, you know what I want? I want production. Like, I want them to wake up one day or send them on a challenge where they have to go away from the campsite and they come back and just everything's gone. And they give us some random, like, natural
disaster
reason or something. Just everything's gone and then see how they do or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to snap these four out of it because I would love to see them.
I need to see. They're still too comfortable. Even if they're
so
hungry,
close.
that's the only thing they're gonna face is hunger.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Well, they're halfway through at this point.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to get pick up the pace a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think is gonna happen next week?
Well, they're all sick. I think Alonso's gonna go home.
Do you?
He's crying because his stomach hurts, and he's had a weak moment in almost every single episode.
Yeah.
His days are numbered for sure.
Yeah,
it's only
I'm just
a matter
waiting
of time.
for him to go home.
But Eilish was complaining too, so I'm hoping we get a double whammy.
And they
Imagine.
both, two of them go home.
Helicopter's
I don't know.
big enough for two.
Helicopter is big enough for two. I definitely think someone's gonna go home. I didn't like that no one went home this episode. I was kind of hoping somebody would.
I know. Or last one, right? Yeah, the last two, no one went home.
You're right.
Step it up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that we need to see a little bit more action. I think that the fighting's gonna continue. I still kind of want to see a physical fight a little bit.
But they can't. I don't think.
They can't, but I want to see someone do that and get kicked out
yeah.
or whatever. Like, I want to see some action. Like, I want to see some real emotions because I think so far no one's been pushed quite to the brink.
I mean,
Maybe
that
that could be
tent
a
thing last
reason.
week, I think that was the brink. I don't know how they didn't. Obviously, I was totally on. When I saw McConaughey take that tent, I was home alone watching this because I missed last week. So when I caught up on it, I was like, yes, girl, snatch that tent. I would have tried that a long time ago.
And
but if
knowing
I
that they
was
can't
on the
touch
other
you.
side,
I would have been livid.
oh, I would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've
her
been in
by the
situations
hair.
like that. I would have been like, oh my God. Like, I was clenching shit watching that episode.
Right?
Like,
I was telling Olivia I would not be on the episode anymore. I would be taken out by a drone or something.
Just like, get my flare ready. I'm going out with a bang.
Flare, right? Like, I'll shoot a flare at someone.
I was just gonna say,
and I'm gonna leave. Well, I'm excited for next week, and we have a special guest in next week, so make sure you guys tune in. And in the comments, you all have been doing a great job of letting us know what you think. We love all your critiques, criticisms, positive notes. So go ahead and like everything, comment below, and let us any questions you'd like us to cover next week too. We would love to hear from you. And you can follow me on all social media at Abigail Fraher, and make sure you tune in for next week's special guest.
And again, I'm Olivia Gabaree. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, @thereal_O_G.
Jesse DAngelo here, guys. You guys can catch me Monday nights doing the Vanderpump Rules after show as well, same time as this show. And you can keep up with me on all social media at Jesse J. DAngelo.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Go get some pizza.
What should we say?
Someone goes, Cody doesn't live.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Pizza.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.